everybody. It's Free Spirit. I'm so happy to do this video for you. There's been a lot of really beautiful, positive comments coming in on my videos about crystals. And it just excites me so much because I love crystals. And I want you to know that I'm still learning. I'm no expert, but I sure am enthusiastic about stones and about encouraging people to find out more about stones and to enjoy them and to use them because they are tools for us. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce my newest members of my family. Before we start, I'd like to light a candle which focuses the energy on my task. And it's gotten a little bit windy since I started, so I hope it doesn't interfere too much. Tonight's candle is a decorated little thing with little crystals hanging on it. I thought that was very appropriate. All right. Are you ready? So I previously had filmed the unboxing of these beautiful gifts, and it was a technical disaster. And while I'm not a perfectionist, I was somewhat disappointed, so I almost abandoned the idea. But these crystals are so precious. They deserve your love. So I'm going to bring them out. And I have repackaged them. I have a lot of surprises for you. And this box has been my treasure box before, but I didn't even put the lid on it because this is going to be all about the crystals and not the box. It's a great box though, isn't it? Okay, so these arrived about 2 weeks ago, and they belong to a very dear friend who lived near me for a while and has moved away. They belonged to a collection that her mom had. Her mom passed away a few years ago. And at the time, she told me that she was going to give them away or sell them. But I told her that she might want to just put them on her shelf for a little while and wait until she was settled down about her mom's passing. And then she would know what to do. So, in the end, she ended up keeping some. which is wonderful. Not expected though. So you can imagine my surprise when I got a box full of crystals in the mail one day, out of the blue. And this is what I found. I hardly know where to start. Okay. I'm going to move the candle to the side now. So I've placed this one in a nice little pouch. It's nice and soft, with a drawstring on it. It's from Peru. It's very colorful. And this is what's inside. Isn't this incredible? This is a piece of fluorite. I want to turn it so that you can see it. I need a light from behind. Light is not exciting me. It has many shades of green and purple in there. And it's very smooth. And it fits in the palm. Lovely. Fluorite. I have a lot of pieces of fluorite. And it's because it's the stone of discernment. And that's something that I've been working on in my personal life. Sometimes you find a pattern when you're working with crystals. The things that you're attracted to are often the stones that have the qualities that you're needing. And I'll probably do some shorter videos where I can focus on one particular type of stone for the video and show different examples of the ones that I have. But for now, we'll just enjoy the opening of each one. Fluorite. This is a secret. I'm going to put this over this way. Next, we'll do the other one. That looks like the same kind of pouch. You see in there? Always a winner. Clear quartz crystal. That's a beauty. You can see inside it has little phantoms, they're called. You could see where the plates were growing of the crystal. And it formed like a shadow inside, and then it continued to grow around it. Clear quartz is a great amplifier to whatever energies you're working with. I love to look deep into crystals. Little light shining through. This is a pillar style. You can stand up. And you can activate a crystal when you take it in your hand and you intend to use it. So then it will start to generate negative energy, which is like negative ions, which are very healing energies. You can use it for a lot of different things. And if you point the tip away from your body, it draws out. So if you had an excess of energy, say like in a headache, you could put it against your forehead or your temple and allow the excess energy to be taken out. It's a beautiful piece. Clear quartz. There's a teeny tiny one. It's a little leather pouch. Doesn't want to come out. Look at this tiny beauty. It's also clear quartz. This one has a little tiny dot of a mineral in there. And it's red, I'm not sure what it is. But if you look from the side, it looks like it was injected into it because there's a little hole right there. And it's inside. It's like a splinter inside the crystal. Very pretty. This will probably go on my windowsill. I have a number of little tiny ones up there. And they catch the light and they make rainbows in the room. Okay, next. Oh, these next two are very interesting. And to reassure you all that you're always learning and there's no such thing as an expert, I don't know what these two are. Isn't this lovely? On first look, it seems to be a quartz, but perhaps not. There's some interesting flecks of reflective material in there. See that? So I'm not really sure. Might be a type of quartz, I don't know. For some reason my mind says lemon quartz, although I can't tell you that I really know that that's a real thing. But there is kind of a lemony color to this. It has a couple of rainbows in there. It's a nice heavy piece. It's kind of like an obelisk. It also stands up very nicely. But you can see the difference between the plain quartz and this one. I don't think it's selenite, but I have a very good friend that's great at identifying stones, so I'm going to bring it to her. My friend didn't know what it was, the one that sent them to me. She didn't know, because they were her mom's. And here's the second one. Similar, smaller, but it's similar shape and fairly similar crystal, but this one actually seems to have like a little bluish green as well. And I don't think that it is fluorite, unless it is very much faded because of the sun, or no, I don't think it's citrine. It's not yellow enough. Even if it faded, it would still look darker. So these two are mysteries to me, but I'll find out. Okay. Come some crinkly ones. Some bubbly wrap paper. Bubble wrap, tear off sheets with adhesive inside. thing about it is that it's tacky, but it's not really too sticky, so it doesn't stick to the content. Are you ready? Can you guess what it is? When they collect stones, this is what they see on the outside. I would never know what was behind there. But look. Isn't that beautiful? These are the kind of stones I love to photograph. When you get the right light, they're so amazing. And it's very hard. It's solid rock. On this side, you can see the beginnings of the crystallizing. This is citrine. This is natural citrine. It has not been heated. If it was heated up, it would turn that beautiful lemony yellow that we see, the common citrine that we find. Amazing stone, really neat. I was very excited when I opened this one up because I don't have a natural citrine in this crystalline form. This is like the inside of a big, probably a big round piece that was broken open, called a geode. So this one's very special. And one more in the tacky wrap. Bubbles and tacky. It's the best. Do you know what this one is? Amethyst. Most people have seen this before. This is a beautiful specimen. This one is from Uruguay. It's a very dark violet, very sparkly. I love this piece. It's got such great vibrancy. He's gonna be really happy next to my other piece of amethyst. This is really beautiful. Like twinkling stars. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about all the stones after I take them all out. Just a tiny little taste about the basic quality. Stuck to the bubble wrap. I'm sorry, I'm addicted to that stuff. I might have to do a video with just This one is very powerful. I'm not going to lie to you. This requires very positive intentions. This, my friends, is a crystal laser. Not only that, but it is a pink Lemurian quartz laser crystal. It's quite heavy. It's been in her mom's collection for a very long time. I don't know if you can see that it's got a little pinkish. It's kind of hard to capture. But I think you can notice these little ridges on several of the faces. There. And here. This is said to be almost like a barcode with information coded into the crystal. And if you hold this while meditating and you rub on these lines, if you are supposed to receive the information stored in the crystal, this will open it. I haven't really worked with it yet, but I'll let you know. The thing about laser crystal points is that they really concentrate the energy to the tip. So this is a great tool doing energy healing because it can work on the chakras when there's blockages. It's great for removing energy blockage. And that's why I would never point it at anyone, because it does work on an energy level. So it's like pointing a gun at someone. You would want to do that. I can hear my dog snoring. Oh my goodness. She's way on the other side of the room. So this can be used to give great boost of energy to areas of the body. Like any other kind of quartz, depending whether you point the tip away from you or towards you. You can remove or you can energize. I'll be using this one a lot. Before I use any of these stones, I want to take you through a little explanation of cleaning and clearing new crystals when they come into your home. Okay, I'll put this over here. And we have one more. And this one, I just love it so much, and I wanted it to have a cute little home. So I've placed it in this basket. I made this basket. I can't believe it's it's holding up. I made it many years ago. And it's made with pine needles and raffia, which is a long fiber. I believe it's a grass. But you soak it and it gets very soft, and then you can sew with it. You actually use a needle and you curve the pine needles around and stitch it in. Add more pine needles, stitch it in, go around, until you get to the end, and then you cover it with raffia along the edges. I have used this as a bird's nest. When I find little baby birds out of their nest, I put them back up inside this. And inside is some neat squishy stuff. And you'll never guess what it is. It's bison fur. I don't know if they call it hair or fur, but it's very fibrous. And it has some twigs and tree things in it because I collected it off of, some tree bark and on the ground in an area where they have wild bison. It's like a preserve. And sometimes they come along the edges where the big trees are, and they rub on the side of the trees and their fur pulls off. So I got a whole bunch of it. And my last little gem is inside the nest. Ready? Ta-da! It is a smoky quartz. A very beautiful cut and faceted piece. It's of course crystal, and smoky quartz actually has, I believe it's sodium inside that gives it the darkness. I just love this. It just reminds me of like a little crown. So I think it just needed to have a nice little place of honor. So here are all the new ones. And I'm going to bring them all in together. Take this little baby out of the nest. we are going to do a little clearing of the stones. And this just takes away any attached energies that are traveled with this particular stones and starts anew. So now you are connecting with the crystals and saying, what you intend to do with them. You set your intentions for your relationship, let's say. It's like an introduction, okay? And what I normally do whenever I get something new is I run some cool water, and I run them under the cool water, and just, to get off any oil or fingerprints or anything, external from having been handled, and just clearing that. So I've done that with all of these stones. And of course they're all safe to put in water. They don't dissolve. There's none of these are toxic or anything. And so once they've all been washed off, then you can do a clearing in many different ways. Some people think that it's just fine just to run water while stating your intentions. That, I always like to just say, you're clear and free of any past contracts. You're free and clear of any past relationships. Now you enter my home, you and I will work together. And then I usually decide whether it's going to be a healing tool or if it's just going to be sort of like a teacher to me, that I'm going to spend some time like these. I don't know what they are, these two. So when I find out, the process of learning about them is going to help me decide what I'm going to use them for. So for now, they're just going to be free spirits, like me. They have their freedom to just hang out, and once they're smudged, then I'll put them with my other stones until I can learn more. So, water will do the trick. You can also use salt or smoke. You can smudge them. And I do like to use the smoke myself. So I have my large stone bowl. That I've used before. And it has salt in it already. I just keep it in there so that I can put out the smudge sticks easier. And there's a few different things that I can use to smudge. You can use just plain incense, that's fine, any smoke. But there are some that prefer to use something particular that is known for its purifying properties. This is a piece of wood called Palo Santo. It's a very special tree, and they only make the incense part out of the sticks that fall to the ground naturally. They don't cut down the trees to make the incense. But it smells so good. It's very fragrant, and it's a very nice smudge. It's very sacred. And it comes from South America. So that's one that I've used. And then I have my little homemade here. This is white sage that grows here in the desert. And I like to collect it and wrap them. And let them dry. And that's very fresh. Smell very clearing, cleaning. Sage is a powerful medicine. So sometimes I use that. And then I have big boy. This is from New Mexico, from a high altitude, and it is a type of sage that grows there. It's beautiful. It smells almost like sweetgrass, like a combination of sweetgrass and sage. So, this is the one I use when I'm smudging my house, because it gives a lot of smoke, as you can imagine. It's pretty big. So I think today I'm going to use the smaller one. And I'll show you how I smudge. But first, the mystery package. Alright. I hadn't really planned how I was going to do this. Just move all of these a little bit further out. Now these items have to be kept in a little glass cabinet that I have, because my cats will find them wherever I put them. This is my feather collection. Well, some of them. I'm just mad about feathers. These three here on the end. These are duck feathers. And if I hold it just the right way, you might see purple on the edge. They're so shimmery. They had green too, but the three feathers that I got all have violet. Can't find that one. There it is. A little white just on the tip. Does it tickle? I used to love to be tickled with feathers. So we're not going to use those. And these are all from the doves in my yard, my local guys. And they're cute. They're white and black and gray. And they come out in cute little patterns sometimes. That one. And this is a blue jay, a scrub jay. You find those in the mountains. They're like blue jays, of course, the same species, but they're a high altitude. There, you can see the blue. Very blue. The stripes on the end. And this teeny skinny one is very cute. It's very black. When I was camping in the mountains, I saw several birds, and one was black and white. I don't know what it was called, but I found this feather. And the other one was a beautiful, fat, little bluebird, tiny and fat. And I couldn't believe this came down, floating down, and landed right next to me. Can you see the blue? He was the bluest bluebird I ever saw. That's cute. And one of my favorites is this hawk feather. Look at that. There's a nesting pair of hawks that comes every year. I have many photos. This year I got photos of the babies. They had 3 babies. And one day I was outside I was taking things out of my car. And I left the window rolled down. And when I went back to move the car out of the way, this little feather was on my seat. Can you believe that? It was so precious. And this one, this little scruffy one, is from a seagull. I found it at the beach. And it was kind of battered by the salt air and the wind and the water. But I still thought it was cute. But the one I want to use today is from my brother the raven. Look at this one. I'm going to use this to help with the smudging. It's going to push the smoke and direct it. To make sure these are kept covered, or the cats will think they're hunting the wild game. I'm going to use my candle to light the incense, the sage. And we're going to clear each of these crystals. So first I offer the sage to you, my friend. May this release any negativity that you're holding. May this free your mind and your heart. And may you be guided by your spirit to find your soul purpose. Let's get going a little bit more. Okay. Now I'm going to do my smudge, my heart, my hands. And all of the table. Smudge. Welcome, little crystal. Now I smudge the amethyst. Just pass it through the smoke. And the fluorite. The smoky quartz. The clear quartz. The large clear quartz. The mystery stones. And the other mystery stone. The beautiful citrine. Okay, so now what I just like to do is to cover all of them with a little blessing. Get some nice smoke. I'm just going to send it with the feather. Very good. Very good. I'm just going to put the sage out in the salt right over here. These are now free spirit crystals. And we'll see how they come to teach me. I know the clear quartz very well. And I love the amethyst and citrine and fluorite and smoky quartz. These are stones I work with a lot. And I have a couple of books that are just wonderful that I'll probably share parts of with you in other videos. One is The Pocketbook of Stones by Robert Simmons. A wealth of knowledge. Very well used. Very bookmarked. Also, another one that's really good is the Crystal Bible. This one has a little bit more information about each stone. Photos. Very helpful. And almost all of the stones are in there. There's quite a lot of different stones. You can see it a little bit better. Judy Hall. But the number one book, in my mind, once you get past the identifying of different stones, and you're working with certain ones, it's my favorite book. I have to move these out of the way. This is called Love is in the Earth by Melody. This is like the textbook for crystals. It's pretty meaty. And the thing I love about this book is that it is very metaphysical, and yet she covers the scientific background, the chemical makeup of the stones, and where they're found. And every time you read information about a stone, you pick up more. So I really enjoy diving in on a particular stone. Sometimes you can get all that you can about it. And my final step in welcoming new stones, after I wash them and after I smudge them, I like to gather them together and surround them with some crystal points, which will serve to activate them and energize them. Let's see if I can get them all in here. You can see everyone. Pull them in really tight. So this is where I keep a lot of crystal points that I use in grid work, making different crystal grids, and healing with a client. I might put crystals around them with the points facing in to direct the energy into the pattern of stones that we're working with to amplify. This is a neat wooden box. It's a burl wood box, so it's made from one of the, the big knots in a tree. You can see all the little circles there. This one is mahogany. A lot of points here. Let's see. Gotta pour them out. So I have 3 different kinds of points here. I have clear quartz points, which are just narrow with point on one end. There it is. And I have smoky quartz points. Look like this. This one's nice, it's a double. Point. There's a double point. One there, one there. There you go. And smoky quartz, it's kind of brownish. And the other type that I have are kind of unusual. They're from Madagascar, and they're called red phantom quartz because they have this red mineral inside them. It's not on the outside, it's on the inside. Some of it's on the outside too, but if you look into it, you can see it's inside. I don't know what the mineral is that makes it red. I really like these. So I have some of each. And I'm just going to make a nice circle. thing with crystals is that there is no rules. There are no rules. It is based on feeling and emotion. And sometimes we make little steps like do this and do that and then do this and then do that. But it's only a suggestion, really. Because sometimes you just get inspired to do things. And that's always the best way. What feels right. Because we're not robots. We have to be creative. And that's what happens when you're able to relax your mind and trust your feelings a little bit more. And then you see yourself doing things that just make perfect sense to you. And you don't know where that inspiration came from. But it comes from your heart. Okay, look at that. I feel sort of a vibration starting. It feels nice all the way around. So I'll be leaving these here for just a little while. And then I'll move the stones to their new home, whichever shelf that might be for now. I hope you enjoyed this little unwrapping and clearing. And if there are particular stones that you'd like to understand more about, I can probably help explain some qualities or show you some examples. So I hope that you will allow your inner intuition to guide you with crystals. And you'll have some interesting experiences as you go. I started with one clear point, just a very small piece, maybe not much bigger than this. And little by little, you start to collect different ones. And you might notice that you're attracted to a certain color or a certain shape. Or there's one stone in particular that you always seem to see. And that is a very good thing because that is your inner guidance. So you should get that stone. If it's a little pendant or a little piece that you can hold, it doesn't matter. The tiniest stone has all the qualities. So start there. And pretty soon you'll be learning more about the different ones. And like me, you may just find yourself trusting and choosing something, and then later on you can read about it and you'll find out that there was a actual guidance there because the quality of that stone is something that you're needing to work on. So, I hope you have a lot of fun with that. And I will see you very soon. And we'll play some more. Have a lovely evening. Thank you for coming.